All right, we're back with another edition. This time, Georgia plays Alabama in Sanford Stadium. Duly filled at Sanford Stadium, I think is now the official name. 7:30 kickoff, which means like 8:15, with all the pomp and circumstances. Line is Georgia 3.5 at home. It's been up and down to 2.5 to 3. I imagine by kick it'll be back down to 2.5. That'd be my thought. What are your initial thoughts on the game?
Well, just along the same lines, I wouldn't bet even if I was a disinterested party. There's got to be easier games. I just think this is tough to pick. But I think the line's probably about right. 2 points either way. I think it's pretty much a push 'em or a pick 'em game. If not now for Georgia, when? It's been 10 years since we had them at home. Georgia hasn't lost at home since the Obama administration. It's a night game. Bama is not the Bama that they were under Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. I think, that's apparent. Kirby has a 1-6 record against Bama. For no other, forget the. I mean, they're evenly paired teams as far as talent. I think Georgia is arguably more talented, but it's about time that Georgia gets this monkey off their back. And if Georgia loses this game, I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any bullshit. I don't. I'm going to be. It's going to be a dark day in Georgia if Georgia loses this one. They should win. I'm not as. There's two areas of concern for me. Offensive line on the right side specifically. Ernest Green is not going to play. Evidently, that came out, so that's a problem. Hughley was, it seemed like he was the best option there. I don't know about Juan Gaston, but offensive line problems in general are a problem. I'm not as concerned about the defensive backs. I actually think that will get fixed. And like you were talking about, a lot of those were 50-50 balls. We were right there in a lot of those. They weren't, there's a couple of complete busts, but you're also playing Tennessee. This has more of a wide open passing attack. So not as concerned about that, but what I am concerned is the pass rush. So we've got to be able to manufacture, and once Kirby mentioned it, once we get there, we got to close. We got to be able to get the quarterback on the ground. And there's a couple times against Tennessee where we were there and we didn't get the guy on the ground. So those are my takeaways. Georgia is due. Don't want to hear any excuses. I think two evenly matched teams. I think Georgia's slightly better, and Georgia should win because it's at home, and it's hard to win in SEC, and it better be hard to win in Sanford Stadium on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and look, you said Kirby's 1-6. Not a single time that in that 7-game history has Georgia ever played or Kirby Smart had a chance to have Alabama inside Sanford Stadium. So, and we were talking about this, and I guess we'll get into the meat of the conversation. I think that Juan Gaston is probably going to move to tackle because he wasn't even listed. He came in initially as a tackle, and I think you're going to have Dontrell Glover starting at guard. And I think, at least give it a couple series to see if it works. Because at this point, what else do you really have to lose? It's a turnstile on the right side.
Agreed. But is Juan Gaston, is he at 80%? Can he go? And this would be the first game he started at right tackle, right? Obviously it will be because he's a true freshman. Right. So I don't know. The other option is Hughley at right tackle and Glover if Gaston can't go. But that's, I don't feel real good. Not that there's anything wrong with those two players, but that's just really young. And they haven't got a whole lot of starts under their belt and a whole lot of playing time in general. Forget starts to be starting playing against Alabama in a night game. But this is where we're at.
That's where you're at, and I think that's where you're at in all of college football. There's not really an offensive line in college football where you go, ooh, wow, they're really dominant. There's one, every side is, strong. So it just is what it is at this point. Got figured out. Their or Georgia's running game could be very elite. We'll see if it. I don't think Alabama's defense, and I could be totally wrong. But against FSU, there were some major gaping holes, and maybe that could have been Gus Malzahn. He's a good, play caller, especially in the run game. So it definitely could have been that, but I didn't see anything where I go, that's a concern. I thought they were kind of soft. Also, here's the other thing, too, about this game, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. Well, certain people are, but others are not paying attention to it. The Boar on the road has a losing record. They've only won 2 games out of how many they've played on the road. And I don't know if that's being unprepared, if that is just I don't know what that is. But it's obviously a problem whenever they get on the road. I don't know what to make of this Alabama team. If they lost the first game against FSU, kind of feels like a stumble, like a mistake. It kind of feels like a fluke thing that they lost to FSU. And it was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, so it wasn't like crazy that like they got their ass kicked. They just didn't execute on on like 3 or 4 plays and lost by 2 scores. And then they've played Wisconsin, who is not very good at all, as we learned, and they played some team in between there that wasn't FCS school or lower G5 school. So I don't know what to make of Ty Simpson, of this Alabama. The wide receiver core we know is good. Ryan Williams is good. He's only going to get better. Did you know last year he was 17?
Yeah, I did.
So he's only going to get better. So they got a dude out there. They're talented always. That Caden Proctor guy, left tackle for Alabama, he's supposed to be otherworldly. He didn't look that good against FSU. So I don't know what to make about this Bama team. I know they're getting healthier. Jam Miller's coming back. How much does he play? I don't know. But really last year, if you go back and look at the game, and I know there's, these teams are a lot different from last year, it was Jalen Milroe that was the kryptonite to Georgia. In that first half there. He was unbelievable. They should have given him the Heisman right then and there. That was the greatest performance he ever had. And it wasn't any of the running backs. Justice Haynes was there. Jam Miller was there. They didn't really run the ball effectively on Georgia. So, can Georgia stop the run and put pressure on a young quarterback who's on the road in a big-time environment, in a big-time game? Should be due. I don't know. I got to tell you, I know I've been talking for a long time, and I'll give it back to you in a minute. But because of this loss to FSU, it just feels like another SEC opponent that we're playing. It doesn't feel like we're playing Alabama. Like, I'm not worried about the game, per se. Maybe I should be. But I'm not looking forward to the game. I'm not excited about the game. It's just a game. And I think that's partly due because of the playoff system. But, I'm not worried about whether Georgia has success or not, because it feels like we're playing, and I don't mean this to be mean to Alabama, but they deserve respect, but it feels like we're playing Kentucky.
Well, I think some of the mystique is off of Alabama since DeBoer took over. So that's one thing. We've seen Alabama, even the last year of Saban, we saw Alabama doing uncharacteristically un-Bama things, like jumping off sides, stupid penalties, losing their composure. And I think the program's not falling off the cliff, but it doesn't have the mystique. So that possibly is why you're feeling this. And then I also think the playoffs that have a a muting effect on some of these bigger games. But with all that said, you said, can we run the ball? I think that's critical. And here's the other one. I don't know because I haven't watched Bama close enough to be able to discern this or not, but people who are supposed to know says that their offensive line has got some issues. So if that's the case, it is time for our defensive line and outside linebackers to get healthy, because if we can put some pressure on that quarterback inside a hostile environment and steal a couple of possessions with a turnover here or there, that could be the difference in this ball game.
Yeah, I that's the other. I don't know a whole lot about this. Like I've said, I don't know anything about this Alabama team. I know they have flaws on the offensive line, and I know people are talking about, well, Georgia's not that good in the pass rushing. That's not Georgia's game. And then also Tennessee, who is the only thing comparable to Alabama that Georgia has played. They're quick. It's a quick release game. It's hurry up and go, go, go. So it's a little different styles that you're going up against.
I agree with you. It's not Georgia's game, but Kirby says it all the time. You've got to be able to affect the quarterback, and if you've got a young defensive backfield, which we do, that sort of kind of got exposed, the way you can help them the most is to make it really difficult for the quarterback on the other side and get him uncomfortable. Even if you don't get him on the ground, you've got to sack him and then not allow him to have a big play. But that's easier said than done. But I agree. Put some pressure on the quarterback and affect the quarterback so you can help out some of those young defensive backs. And I agree, it's a totally different style, of offense. But yeah, you got to be able to affect the quarterback, and especially in a hostile environment, and get him to make a mistake or two.
Yeah, Alabama's defense also has had issues with a quarterback that is elusive, I would say is the word I would use there, but can extend plays, can run out of the pocket, get positive yardage whenever there's no one open downfield, and that is Gunnar Stockton's MO. So all we need from Gunnar is Gunnar to be Gunnar. If he could replicate the same performance that he had against Tennessee, Georgia should win in a fairly comfortable.
They should win all their games up until the playoffs. That's if he plays like he did against Tennessee, which I think is a big ask. But if he does, right, Georgia would win every game on their schedule
for sure. And if they could replicate exactly how they played last time they played in Tennessee, yeah, I don't think that's too big of an ask either. To me, the key is, can Georgia run the ball effectively, run it for over 100 yards? Then the next thing is, can they score touchdowns in the red zone
instead of friggin' field goals? Can we take it? Can we take advantage of those two 6'4", 6'5" receivers we have on the outside? Can we take advantage of the best tight end room, a plethora of backs, a running quarterback? I mean, if somebody told me these are all the elements that an offense has, the first thing they got two receivers that are over 6'4" on the outside. They got arguably the best tight end room in the country. They've got a host of running backs. They got a decent offensive line, and they also have a quarterback that can run.
They have one of the fastest players in the country.
Yes. Yeah, two, Phillips and Zachariah Branch. Yeah. So if you gave me all those elements and said, bake me a good red zone offense, I would say, Jesus, fuck, I got all the ingredients I've got here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's early season, but I don't want to belabor the point. But you're absolutely correct. If we get into kicking field goals and trading field goals for touchdowns, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too. If you go back, I rewatched that Tennessee game after letting all the emotion die down. Georgia could have won that game by a way larger margin if they didn't kick field goals.
The game should have been
a blowout.
The game should have been in Georgia. It was in Georgia's control, and they allowed them because of exactly what you just said. Yeah. That the whole second half, Georgia should have had and maintained. They had control of that for a large period of time, and then they allowed Tennessee to get back in because they couldn't score touchdowns.
Yeah, totally. But I don't know why we're revisiting this, but this is, I guess, just an overview of this Alabama game. This is what I will say. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence going into the season with Gunner and Bobo and Stacey Searles and all the problems that we've talked about. But when it was time to put together drives to go get points, any points at all, Georgia did it time and time again in a hostile environment on the road. If you can do that in that type of magnitude of a game, surely to God you can do it at home and over and over again. And
against a team that's had your number, not yours, but your program's number for a long time, longer than I would say.
So, to me, that's why I'm not really that panicked about this game, because I have the utmost confidence in this offense, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I am really dumb for having this much confidence in them, but they showed me a lot 2 Saturdays ago, being able to go down the field when they needed points to go get points multiple times in that game. So, for that, I feel pretty good.
I'm going to split the difference with you. I think you do have too much confidence based on, and I agree, all those things you said, in a hostile environment, coming out and when you needed points, you got them. I agree with all that. But you asked me how concerned I was after Austin Peay, and I was concerned overall. I was a little less concerned by seeing the resiliency, the fight in this team, and the capability of what this offense could be. I felt better after the Tennessee game. I'm still 100% not. I think Georgia's a very talented team, and I think they are a playoff team. But how this team's going to shake out, I still don't have any idea. I'm less confident than you are, but I'm more confident after the Tennessee game than I was before it.
I would be really worried if this game was in Bryant-Denny. Let's say it was last year's game,
or a neutral site
for sure. Yeah. I would be really worried. But now that you got home cooking, you can lay in your own bed and you got the crowd, and it should be an electric atmosphere inside Sanford Stadium. If it's not, sell your tickets and give them to someone that does care. I think you should be okay. So. But here's the other thing, too. I can see this game going one or two ways. Either Georgia wins in a nail-biter, and it's, touchdown late or a field goal late to win the game, or Georgia wins in a pretty comfortable fashion, 17+.
From your mouth to God's ears, that's all I got to say. I'm done with the nail biters. I have a feeling it's going to be your typical Southeastern Conference friggin' knife fight down to the very end. If it's not, I would be mildly surprised if it's not one of those games.
I don't know, because I watched. So here's the thing: I watched the FSU game for Alabama, and then I watched the Wisconsin game, and I just wanted to see. And there's nothing that I go, that doesn't bode well for Georgia. I don't know. There's nothing that really is fuck, if we don't do this, we're going to be in bad shape. There's nothing of that, and usually there has been with Alabama, like Jalen Milroe in 23 and 24. You're like, oh, fuck, dude. Jalen Milroe could do some stuff with Kirby's defense, and it really scares me. With Saban in the previous years, Bryce Young, Tua, Jalen Hurts, these
plus
guys, and then they
pass rush and the defense.
Yes, and they execute at such a high level. So you have to execute too, and then Kirby will always do something so stupid against Nick Saban because he has to outcoach him. Some stupid reason, I don't understand why. So, but there's nothing there that goes, oh, okay, this is the issue. This could be a problem when we play them. And that's why I'm not totally concerned. I'm confident, which is really weird. I never have this type of confidence going into a Georgia-Alabama game. It's weird, and it really bothers me.
I'm not as confident. Yeah, I'm not as confident as you are. I mean, I feel better about the game after we played Tennessee and been tested a little bit. I feel better about the game, but look, until we're able to beat Bama somewhat consistently, where it's not a 1-6 record, I'm going to reserve the judgment of I'm going to have a little bit of a pucker factor on this one until we
come kickoff, there's going to be a major pucker factor for me. But I mean, if there isn't a time to cut off Alabama's head, I don't know when it will ever happen. Look, this is the SEC. I was reading an article. Shout out Poor Game, the Poor Man Notes. Game Notes, sorry. I butchered that name. That was pretty bad. I was going too fast there. But there's always a boogeyman for Georgia and all the other SEC teams. They're always just a pain in your ass whenever it comes that time to play them. And of this decade and the latter half of the last decade has been Alabama. Before that it was Florida, and before that it was Auburn, and then Tech. So, South Carolina, some people would argue. I don't think that, but some people would. There's always that boogeyman factor, and eventually you're just going to have to do it. And Georgia has a team. They have the talent. They're at home. Going to be a lively crowd. Blackout maybe. So.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I didn't know. Did you hear about the wristbands?
Yes, I heard about the wristbands.
I didn't know anything about the wristbands till right before the show, so I thought I had breaking news. But anyway, some sort of wristbands that are supposed to synchronize with the LED lights or some shit. I'm hoping that people don't have to work them themselves, because half the people be like me and be like, "What the hell? I'm not."
No, that you put them on and it's already synced up. But
that's good.
Here's my thing on that. I don't know who came up with that idea, but that is that's going to be the edge for us. Is going to be the light show pre and in the fourth quarter. I don't even get that. Whatever. It's a lame idea. It's going to look cool on TV.
It'll be a good. It's a good entertainment value. It's a good visual. It'll get everybody kind of talking and excited, and people talking about it at home. So it's not a bad thing. I'm all for whatever toots somebody's whistle.
Here's what I vote. If you really want to exercise some demons, go full blast. Just do it. Black jerseys, black end zone. Give out the black shirts like we did in 08. Do everything. Have Kirby in all black like Mark Rick. Do the whole thing all over again.
You could have a funeral procession, and they have a coffin coming out with Alabama A on it, and we can do the whole. If we're going to take it to the extreme, we just hold a funeral right there for them at 50-yard line.
We could do some voodoo thing.
We've never beat you all except one time, but by golly, we're going to go ahead and celebrate your funeral. We're going to put that nail in the coffin.
Have Keely Ringo come out and do the interception run again. We might as well just go full blast. I keep seeing Georgia fans all panicked. The students want a blackout. Get over yourselves. That was 20 years ago. I don't know how.
Well, last time we tried to do that shit, it didn't work out too well. So
Who cares? That was 2008. Julio Jones isn't in that locker room. Stop worrying. That stuff bothers me. That stuff doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to wear black jerseys, wear black jerseys.
Kirby's not gonna wear. He ain't gonna do any of that shit. You know that, because he doesn't care about it either. If you think
this is my message to Kirby. If you're gonna do it now, because it'd be so funny. Either way, if we win or lose, you're exercising demons. I think we should do it. We should just embrace it all. Embrace the pain. That should be actually the hashtag for the game. Hashtag embrace the pain. That's like that. Bad. That's not really bad. That should be that should be the game trailer.
And it starts opening up as the House of Pain, and it says embrace the pain. Yeah. Look at us creating shit.
Look at University of Georgia. Anytime I'm here. I haven't heard my call back. Actually, I'm due for a call back. Haven't gotten one. All right. So let's. You want to predict this game, or you want to go bounce around the college football
Well,
landscape?
we'll predict the game, but I think before we jump off, in addition to maybe briefly touching on some other games, we talk about the schedule change, right? We're kind of
Oh
behind on
yeah, I
that.
totally forgot about that. So let me. Here, you riff for a little bit while I pull this up. Stretch.
All right. Well, I'll talk about the new 9-game schedule that just came out. There was a lot of, it sort of goes back to the summer. There's been hints and rumors that it was going to be Florida, Auburn, and South Carolina. And a lot of people felt, including myself, but it's hard to argue with the rivals because you could make an argument either way, I guess. But to me, it's Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee.
Should
South
be.
Carolina considers us more of a rival than we consider them a rival. But regardless, we know what it's going to be for at least the next 4 years, right? I think is what
So
they came out.
2029.
Yeah, so 2026 till 2029, so 3 years, I guess. That's going to be our permanent rivals on our schedule.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, I don't mind playing South Carolina, actually.
Georgia has so many rivals because we border so many states. It doesn't really matter to me. I could honestly make an argument over having Vanderbilt over South Carolina, just based on history. And honestly, it's a comparably about the same record wise. I think Vanderbilt probably has a better record against Georgia than South Carolina does. So way to go. So here's the 2026. So the games are Auburn, Florida, and Atlanta. At South Carolina, play Missouri again. Finally, Vanderbilt finally, Oklahoma at home. That'll be a fun game.
Is Missouri come to us this time? Or we
Yeah,
gotta-
yeah.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
At Alabama, Greg Sankey. At Arkansas, they'll have a new coach, and we'll have their old coach. And then at Ole Miss, so a place that Kirby has not won yet in his tenure. So I'm glad he's getting redemption there. It's a little unfair that
Well,
we play Alabama.
here's the thing I would say: we have never played at Texas A&M, ever. We've
Well-
never gone to that stadium.
Well, here you go.
2027.
2027,
Go ahead.
Auburn at Auburn, Florida, South Carolina, LSU. First time since 2013. I like that.
At home?
Yeah, at home. Mississippi State, Tennessee, Kentucky, at Kentucky, and at A&M, and then at Texas, which is crazy.
Might as well just go practice somewhere in Dallas.
Yeah, somewhere in San Antonio to split the difference. So, or Houston. I think it's cool that we're playing A&M at A&M, but it's 2027. You could have replaced that Alabama game with the A&M game.
I know. So when did A&M come into the SEC?
2012 with
So
Missouri.
it's been 15 years before we've ever had to go out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then how many times have we played at Alabama? And they've only had to come to us once.
So let's just do from 2012. 2015, we played them at Sanford Stadium. And then we didn't play them in 16. 17, no. 18, no. 2020, when COVID is. So, yeah, it's all.
We didn't play them. We played them in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So, it's been a long time since Georgia's had a home game against Alabama, 2015 in the rain.
But we got to go there again before we go to Texas A&M. That's brilliant.
Right. Yeah. 28, Auburn, Florida, at South Carolina. Alabama comes back. We'll have a new president by this point, or we'll be in the middle of a new president at this point. Arkansas, Ole Miss, at Missouri, at Vandy, at Oklahoma. Again, I'm a fan of that going to Oklahoma. I would like to go to that game. That would be an interesting thing. 29, at Auburn, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky. A&M at home, Texas at home, at LSU, at Mississippi State, at Tennessee. That at LSU 29.
I don't know if I'd be. I'm going to be a few years older. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to go to LSU at night as a
That'd be kind of
opposing fan.
that'd be kind of fun to go see that. So I don't really have any qualms about the schedule. I think it's really stupid that the SEC went to 9 games, but it is what it is at this point.
Well, especially if they're not going to value strength of schedule. So, and they certainly didn't appear to last year. So, we'll see if that changes.
Well, I would hope so, given Georgia who they have to play this year. I would hope that that is taken into consideration. All right. Do you want to pick
I'll pick the Georgia Alabama game
first?
I'll go Georgia 31, Alabama 27.
Oh, me. You picked Tennessee to win, and I picked Georgia to win, and so I wish you would have picked Alabama. I'll pick Georgia to win. I think Georgia wins 34 to. Ooh. I see. I'm gonna have to somehow hedge my bets here. You know what? Change it. I'll pick Georgia 33, Alabama 18.
Oh, you're going to go with the same national championship score?
I can't do that on purpose.
Okay.
But yeah, I look. I think Georgia can win this game. I think Georgia should win this game. I think there might be a little pucker factor with Alabama with a freshman, or not a freshman, but a newly minted starter on the road making his first big time start. And then Alabama's offensive line is not really all that great. Georgia's defense is, I think, good.
I think they're better than what they showed against Tennessee. I don't
Absolutely.
know. Yeah.
So I think, and DeBoer being on the road, not good. So I think Georgia has a shot here to kind of shut everyone up and kind of put their place firmly as a playoff team, as a team that is going to make the college football playoff. But
I picked Georgia because of the home element. I mean, to me, it's a close enough of a push 'em game. The deciding factor is the home game, and so to your point, the crowd that shows up needs to be electric, and still a couple of possessions for us. That'd be great.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's see. Really, the first big game is USC going on the road to Illinois. USC's a 6.5-point favorite. Thoughts?
Give me USC, not because I think they're great, but I saw Illinois look like shit, and they were the number 6 team in the country, and that was embarrassing. Indiana just took their candy. So I'm not a believer in Illinois and Bielema.
No, me either. I'll take USC. I like Mava or whatever the hell his name is. He was going to play for Georgia.
Yes, he was.
So I like him a lot. I think USC's a sleepy playoff team. All right. Notre Dame goes to Arkansas. Pittman needs to save his job.
Yes, I would love to see Arkansas. I don't know if they can, but I'll take Arkansas just because they're at home, and I'm not a believer in Notre Dame, and I think Sam Pittman needs this. But I also believe his offensive coordinator is conspiring. Bobby Petrino is an evil genius behind the scenes, sabotaging everything that Sam Pittman tries to do.
Well, Notre Dame's favored by 4.5. The over/under 63.5, which is crazy. I'll take Notre Dame. This is me just being hopeful that Pittman gets fired. No offense, Pitt. I need you back in Athens. All right. I'm looking. I'm scrolling. Next big game, 3:30. LSU goes on the road to Vaught Hemingway to play Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5.
Wow.
I will go ahead. I will take LSU. I think I'll take LSU straight up. If they were favored, I would take them. I don't think Ole Miss is that good.
I think defense travels, and I think LSU is for real, and I think that defense is for real. I don't know if offense can function. I do think that quarterback Nussmeier has the potential of being good, but they haven't looked so great at the beginning of the year. But
Right.
I think that defense is really good, and I think LSU is really good. So I'll take them to beat Ole Miss.
All right, Auburn going on the road to A&M. A&M is favored by 6.5. Auburn should have won against Oklahoma last week, but their offensive line is just got bent over. So I have no idea what this Auburn team really looks like. They have a bye next week, and then they play us. I'm going to be pulling for Auburn just for the morale for them because I want them to be fat and happy, but I think A&M wins this game fairly comfortably.
I haven't seen A&M play, but other people that have really talked about how great they are. So I don't know. I think Hugh Freeze is a good coach. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I'm not sure how good of a head coach he is, but going on the road, Auburn's going to A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take A&M. That's too big of a thing for them to pull off, I think.
Yeah. Well, hey, if they lose this game, the wheels are going to start falling off of the Auburn bandwagon. And they're going to start talking about firing Hugh Freeze going into the Georgia game. So just keep that in mind, something to watch. Tennessee plays Mississippi State, who's undefeated. Tennessee's favored by 7.5. I would take Tennessee in the points. I think Tennessee's actually a fairly good team, a playoff team. I think Tennessee's going to win that game by a lot. Sharks.
I want Tennessee to win because I agree with you. I don't think anybody ball bounces the different way and goes through the uprights on that game. We're having a whole different conversation about Georgia. So if I think Georgia's a playoff team, then I have to believe Tennessee's a playoff team. So I want Tennessee to be as good as I think they are, and I do think they're legit, and I think they'll beat Mississippi State.
All right, so there's two big games in the 7:30 window. The first one, well, really the first one is Georgia-Alabama. Come on. But the other one is Oregon going onto the road to Penn State in Happy Valley. Penn State's favored by 3.5. I don't know anything about Oregon's quarterback. I haven't really watched them. I haven't watched Oregon at all. This is just a blind pick here. I trust Dan Lanning over James Franklin in a big-time game in a big-time environment. I'll take Oregon and the points.
Me too. I watched Oregon. Who did they play last weekend? They jumped on them pretty.
Oregon State.
Oregon State. That's who I watched them against. They look pretty good to me, and I am a believer in Dan Lanning. I believe he's coached in big games. I'm not a big fan of that guy who's at Penn State, so I'll take Oregon.
And then lastly, to finish up the SEC round robin, Kentucky going on the road to South Carolina. South Carolina's dropped their candy lately. South Carolina's favored by 5.5. It is at Williams-Brice, so take that with whatever you want. You want to pick that game?
Yeah, I'll take South Carolina, just because they're at home, and I don't know. Ever since what's his name sort of came out and was bitching at the boosters, and then toyed around with the A&M job, I think they sort of lost some of their mojo, and I think Hickey Madoodle needs it because I think he's thinking about the Virginia Tech and he wants to end that well. That quarterback that South Carolina, if y'all have watched, he is boom or bust, man. He can make some of the most outstanding-looking plays, and then the very next thing, it looks like he's trying to, sabotage the team. So, I just think it's hard to win on the road, period. It's hard to win on the road in the SEC, and I think South Carolina and Shane Beamer is desperate, and I think Kentucky just lost some of their mojo. So I'm going to pick South Carolina.
I'll take Kentucky in the points. I don't think Kentucky will win, but I'll take them with the point spread. They looked all right against Ole Miss. I don't know about South Carolina, dude. I don't think they're that like.
They've lost some off defense, that's for sure.
It could go really bad, really fast, which is great for us, but. I think Beamer's wanting to go to Virginia Tech. I think this is his last ride. But I'll take Kentucky. That might be a stupid one, but I think Kentucky's got a little bit of life. Plus, next week we got to play them. So we want a good performance out of Kentucky. All right. Any housekeeping notes before we do
Not
business?
for me.
All right. Big game, big moments. This is what we've come accustomed to with Kirby Smart as the head coach of Georgia. There's no reason to Munson to some people that are on this video who are definitely Munsoning right now. There's no reason to. We've won national championships. We're the best program in college football. You know, I don't know what else you want. It's now or never. And the boogeyman is the boogeyman. Sometimes you got to face him. So this is the boogeyman, and the boogeyman's lost some of his scariness. So now's the time to come with it. Embrace the pain. Hashtag embrace the pain. All right, before we go, let's do some housekeeping. Remember to like and subscribe, comment. What do you think the question commenters should answer be?
Let's see. Based on the season so far, who should be the starting right tackle?
We have a ball-knowing fan base if we get good answers out of that. So, that's fine. I like that. And it should be Juan Gaston or Hughley, whoever can do that. All right. So remember to like and subscribe, comment, answer the question who you think should be the right tackle. Follow us on social media at Terminus Sports _ATL on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And then keep subscribing. We picked up some more subscribers, even though we didn't post a video till today. So we appreciate everyone subscribing and liking our videos. So keep it coming. All right. Win or lose, we'll talk to you probably on Monday, right?
Yeah, probably Monday.
Yeah, Monday. And we'll give a recap. Hopefully it's all positive and how great Georgia looked. All right. See you then.
See ya.